Hi ladies and gentlemen, in this lesson we're going to talk about verbs in active or passive voice. The essential question for this lesson is how can learning about parts of speech develop our comprehension and help our comprehension? Standards are dealing with demonstrating a command of the conventions of standard English, grammar, usage, capitalization, punctuation, and spelling. And the objective is by the end of this lesson you should be able to identify active and passive verbs. So what is an active verb? When a verb is an active voice, its subject acts or does something. In the following examples, the subjects are underlined and the verbs are in bold. Notice that the subjects are acting out the verbs. The subjects are doing the verbs. We are building a house. Who's building it? We are. We is the subject. They are building. I did not make that call. Did not make is the verb. Well, who? I is the subject. I is acting that out. The dog bit our mail carrier. Bit is the verb. Well, who did that? The dog. The dog is the subject. He has fixed our computer twice already. Has fixed is the verb. Who did it? He. He is the subject. That is an active verb. A passive verb is when the subject receives the action. So the subject isn't doing the action, the subject is receiving the action. The passive form is often indicated by helping verbs, am, is, are, was, were, do, did, etc., used with another verb. The word by is another clue to identifying the passive form. In the following examples, the subjects are underlined and the verbs are in bold. So the house is being built for a family of 4. Is being built is the verb, but who's doing it? We don't know. The house is being built, so the house is receiving the action of being built, but we're not sure who's doing it. In the second example, that call was not made by me. Was not made is the verb, and the subject is call, but we don't know who made it. The call is receiving the action. It wasn't made by me. Our mail carrier was bit by the dog. Was bit is the verb, and the mail carrier received that action. He didn't do that action. My computer has been fixed twice already. Has been fixed is the verb, and the computer received that action. The computer didn't do that action. So that's the passive voice. Note the difference between the two. When you want to change from passive to active voice, the person or thing performing the action becomes the subject. For example, in passive form, the novel Frankenstein was written by Mary Shelley. Okay? In the active voice, Mary Shelley wrote the novel. So the subject is doing that action. That is changing from passive to active voice. Conversely, changing from active to passive voice, we need to make the subject become the object of the verb. Here are some examples. So we have an active voice. Sir James Murray compiled the dictionary. He did that. How do we turn it passive? The Oxford English Dictionary was compiled by Sir James Murray. So in this case, where the dictionary was originally the object, it becomes the subject. That is your lesson on active and passive voice verbs.